Hello and welcome to the Vicar's Wife's Frugal Life Mind Over Money Matters course, day 4. Now, today is probably the day you have been waiting for. It is the day that we do our first budget. Woo, budget time! But Rhiannon, how do I make a budget? Aha, well, it's funny you say that, but I'm going to walk you through it right now. And your budget is going to look totally different to mine, but we're going to get started. We're going to jot some ideas down and you're going to start forming your own personalised budget. How exciting. Let's hop right in. Firstly, we need to figure out what your fixed monthly expenses are. For example, your rent, your mortgage payment, if you have one of those. If you have a phone bill that's always the same every month, that would be a fixed monthly payment. What else? Maybe car insurance if you're paying on that monthly. Things that when they come out of your bank account, you just know, I always pay X amount to my rent. I always pay Z amount to my phone bill. How do you find out what these fixed monthly expenses are? Well, I don't want you to just pluck numbers out of the air. That's not really going to be useful to you long term. So what you need to do is go through your bank statements, go through any old receipts or paying in slips you might have and figure out how much those items are. Quite often we'll think, oh, my pet insurance, that's only £20, and actually you log onto your bank and actually they're taking £32 out of your bank account nowadays. So really try and make sure that you're putting an exact number on those things. Next, we're going to have a look at your variable but very necessary monthly items. These are things like your heating, gas and electricity. If that's a bill that goes up and down each month, then that's something you need to be able to budget for. Also things like a phone bill, if that's something that goes up and down but can be expected, then that's something you need to budget for. And also grocery shopping. This should be something that is obviously you need to eat, everyone needs to eat. So this is a line item that needs to be there, but it's also something that can be slightly flexible. It's not as if Tesco, I hope, are taking a direct debit out of your account every month to deliver food to you. I hope they're not doing that. They're probably doing that somewhere, but I hope they're not doing that to you. And if they are, maybe you should cancel it. Haha, frugal tip. Now, if you're not used to budgeting and you've never done it before, things like food shopping might be a bit daunting. You might just think, I've got no idea how much I need to budget. Don't worry. Write all the budget down. If you're doing a paper budget, write it down in pencil. If you're doing a spreadsheet, you can delete it later and you can amend this. We're getting started here and I don't want you to think, oh, it's all going to be perfect, it's got to be incredible. Let go of that. We're just going to start writing things down. Don't panic. It can all be changed. It is all manoeuvrable, all right? So step 3 are your yearly expenses. So these can be anything from car insurance, if you pay that in a one-off payment, to a Dropbox subscription, to your Amazon Prime subscription, anything like that that you pay yearly. Now, these are the things that we can often forget, and it's really easy to forget about your yearly contents insurance or something like that. If you're not on the ball, it can quite easily get away from you. I know, I've done it so many times. I'm sure most of you have at some point in your life as well. One of my favourite ways to remember my yearly commitments is to just walk around my house with a pen and paper and look at things. So I've just looked at my phone. No, I don't need insurance on that. I've just looked at my Alexa. Yes, I might need to think about cancelling my Amazon Prime. I'm cancelling Amazon Prime this year. I'm looking at all the things in my house. I'll need to arrange my contents insurance. So have a think about those and pop a number down for your yearly expenses. We'll eventually set up a sinking fund for those. If you're not sure what a sinking fund is, I've got a whole video about sinking funds and I'll put the link below. But we need to have a think about how you're going to pay for that. So if your car insurance is coming up in 3 months, then you need to take the estimate for how much the insurance is going to be and divide it by 3. If you're lucky enough that actually you've still got 10 months, you can divide that number by 10. But we're going to start putting that money aside into a sinking fund so that you don't get these surprise yearly payments. All right. Step 4 in the budget is looking at things that are optional. So if you really like buying fresh flowers for your house, if you like going to the cinema once a week, if you like going to the theatre once a month, I don't know what it is, yours will be different to mine, mine will be very different to yours. I have a penchant for houseplants. And I also like to go for a pedicure every once in a while. I just like someone else to deal with the disgustingness that is my witchy feet. Have a think about what your optional line items are. Maybe you have a magazine subscription, a newspaper subscription, maybe it's something like Netflix. These are the things that you do not absolutely need to survive, but add to your quality of life, because we are going to include some of those as well. Number 5 in your budget are your debts. Now, I want you to put down, just for now, your minimum payments. You looked them up a couple of days ago. So look up your minimum payments and put those into your budgets under the 5th heading of debts. Hopefully, after you finish these 4 things, and it may take you a few days, again, Rome wasn't built in a day, a budget wasn't constructed in a minute, you will have a piece of paper or an online spreadsheet which has line item, amount, line item, amount. For example, pet insurance, £50, excellent. Groceries, £200, excellent. All right, so I want you to come up with all of those things. Then you should be able to get out your calculator or do a clever old sum on your spreadsheet, and you will come up with a number, and that is how much you're expecting to spend in that month. Now, if you are a self-employed person, it's going to be more complicated, but if you're employed and someone deposits money into your account once or maybe even multiple times a month, congratulations. Have a look at what that number is every month and deduct the first number from it. Now, your budget obviously needs to be less than you earn. If you're getting out of debt, then hopefully it's way less than you earn, because you really need to start ploughing things into the debts to get rid of them. We want to get rid of all those debts so we can free up your money and start building wealth with it. If you're self-employed, budgeting is more complicated at first. I'm self-employed and it did take me about 6 months to become more stable with my budget. But fear not, it will happen. I've got a whole video about being self-employed and I will link it down below. Please check that out and hopefully that can help you get to a point where you can pay yourself on a monthly basis. So please watch that video, that will really help you. If you have any further questions, I will answer them, and I will do a couple of special videos on being self-employed. If, when you take away your budget from your salary, you get a minus number, then you need to start taking things out of your budget. Obviously, you can't cancel your gas and electricity. I mean, you could go off grid, but hopefully if you're like most people, you probably don't want to be living in a really cold house heated only by a lump of coal, and that you'd be doing your budget like Bob Cratchit by a little candle stub with your fading eyesight. Hopefully you want to keep on the heat and light in your house. No judgment if you don't, everyone's different. I digress. Gas and electricity are things that you can't really cut out. Cocktails with the girls, however, you can. I'm not saying you never have to go out again. I'm just saying maybe if you go out, you go for one cocktail and then you drink soda and lime for the rest of the evening. I'll talk about loads of things that you can cut out of your budget later in this video series. But now, if the budget number is higher than the salary number, stuff has to go, especially if you're in debt. But budgets, they seem so restrictive and I just don't want to stick to one. Look, I know it can seem restrictive and you're having to give up loads of things that you like, and lots of people say, oh, but none of my friends are doing this, I don't want to live like this, it's rubbish. Oh, well, frankly, if you are in a load of debt, for most people in the United Kingdom, most, not all, the reason they're in debt is because they've spent more than they've earned. It's mathematics, okay? And I've done that as well. There is no judgment on that, but the fact is you have to change your lifestyle. Either you have to start earning more money, and for some people that might be very difficult or impossible, or you need to spend less money. All right, now the answer to that might be more simple. It might be buying fewer clothes, trying to use up everything you have in the cupboards and spending less on expensive steak restaurants. I don't know, whatever you spend your money on, yours will be different to mine, but I really want you to start the cogs whirring now of actually I've got to live on less, and that way I'm going to be able to pay off my debt or start saving more, start maxing out those savings. Again, I remind you of that visualization you did on the first day. What would life be like if you got rid of those money worries? What would life be like if you could start building more wealth? I don't know that answer. It's going to be different to you and it's going to be different for me. We're all different and that's wonderful. I'm so glad that everyone is different and has different goals and aspirations. But I think the thing we can all agree on is that we all want the lack of stress and the freedom and the options that being debt-free or amassing some sort of wealth can bring us. At first, budgets can appear restrictive and you may think, oh, I don't want to be restricted in my spending and I just want to have fun and I want to be free. But I promise you the freedom that will come from knowing that all your bills are paid, that you're meeting all your financial commitments and that you are getting out of debt, so that when you look at your budget and you thought, oh, I've got a night out with the girls coming up, I'm going to budget £70 to go out for a really nice meal and then go out for a load of cocktails and go dancing and have money for a cab home. I promise you that when you were on that night out with your girlfriends, when you're on that night out with your girlfriends, you are going to feel so much more free and more liberated, and you are not going to be worrying, oh, actually, can I really afford this cocktail? Is my card going to get declined? Am I even going to be able to afford the taxi back on the way home? You are not going to have that stress anymore because it's going to be in your budget. Whew, I've got a lot of feelings around this, and I've got a lot of feelings for you guys as well, because I know if there are any of you that are still in debt, it can be really overwhelming, and those horrible letters demanding money from you coming through the door can feel like a huge load on your shoulders. The most important takeaway from your budget planning is that it is a plan. If you put in a budget, you're putting in a plan. Most days now, if you're going to drive to the south of France, you're probably not just going to get in the car and start driving. Most people are going to key something into their sat-nav, they're going to look up the directions online, or they're going to use a map. I mean, how vintage and charming. So, you need a plan with your money. Yes, you can stumble blindly, but chances are if you're here, you're fed up of stumbling blindly and it's not working for you. So this budget is what's going to create your plan, and it's what is going to help create your vision, that vision for a more easy and more stress-free life for you, your partner and your family and your dog, whoever else you've got hanging around your house. Here endeth budget day. Congratulations on getting started on thinking about your budget and putting it into place. Obviously, lots of people say, oh, but I want to wait till the first of the month. You can wait till the first of next month if you really want to start putting it into place. But when you're writing down these numbers now, get them start informing you. And if they scare you, then you should be scared. You're going to have to reduce your spending probably. You're going to have to reduce your spending to get out of debt and to start building up your savings and to then start building wealth. But I promise you in 6 months, you'll be having a budget meeting and you'll be doing it like this. Like this, I say. Like this. So easy. Do my budget. Done. Good luck with your budget. Don't panic too much about it, but do start getting it to inform your spending. We're going to talk about how you're going to separate out your money so that you protect different bits, and especially with your variable spending, how you're going to avoid overspending. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But today, I want you to get started with that budget. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. If you've got any problems and you need professional help or you're in crisis, I've got all the numbers for debt advice charities and the Samaritans in the box down below. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up because I love affirmation, and also subscribe so you don't miss anything else in this video series. Day 4 over and out.